How do we make a difference? Through hope and optimism, through activism, through engagement. I'm not, by the way, if you think I'm talking about political activism, not at all. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about you as engaged citizens, as engaged students, because as students, you have an incredible power in your hands. You're the intellectual elite. You're people who can read and write and express yourselves and use technologies in ways that others can't. You have to be the voice of the unheard. If there is a child that goes hungry every night, if there's a child that goes without shoes, if there's a child that goes to bed without the conditions that you have, that I have, it hurts me, even though it's not my own child. If there's a senior citizen, a grandfather, a grandmother, that has to choose between medicine and having to pay rent, even if it's not a relative, I feel poor for that. Every one of you should. It may not affect your dreams in the way that you see it, but it sure does. It affects everything that you will do for the next 5 to 10 years. That is being engaged. That's being responsible. That's caring for others. What I need is to teach, and I teach this to my students every semester. Your diploma by itself, your diploma, if you are just here to get that piece of paper, that 8 by 11, so you can put it on a wall. In my view, in my humble opinion, you have not accomplished your dreams. Not if you don't put that diploma to work. Not if you don't help others accomplish their dreams. If all you care about is a nice salary, buying a car, raising a family, great. It's your right to do that. But it's your responsibility to contribute to the world that we all are in. Because in the long term, that's not sustainable. What you have is not sustainable. Not if we don't care about one another and create. There should be one united Tunisia. And you are responsible for that. Not those politicians today who are sitting in Qasr al-Mu'tamarat, devising your futures, debating your future. You have become a percentage, a ratio on someone's draft. We say no more. We say no more. Someone right now is debating what job you're going to get, what salary you're going to get, what benefits you're going to get. That, ladies and gentlemen, is part of the dream that you need to focus on. That is part of the dream. If you think that isn't my job until I become 30 or 35, then you are sadly mistaken. You get engaged today, the sooner that you get engaged. It is not part of the books that you read, it's not part of what your teachers lecture you about. It is part of your responsibility as a citizen of the United Tunisia. All of us. I gave last year a conference at ENIT. And I saw, even within the groups of people that came and talked to me afterwards, Sfaxi and Shira, and Nuebli and Shira, and Mutajbet and Shira, and Mush Mutajbet and Shira. This isn't the country I left behind 30 years ago. I was sad. And I surely tip my hat to those who so successfully divided us. And to those you should say, we are here today. They may not teach us those in books. But for God's sake, you have tools within your hands that Martin Luther King did not have in 1963. There was no Twitter, there was no LinkedIn, there was no Facebook, there was no Portal. He had 255,000 people sitting there in front of him because he had a dream. And they weren't there for his dream. Each of them was there for his own dream. Each of them there saw the future of his or her kids. 32% of those who attended that meeting that day were white people, middle-class white Americans. And they all united, not about Martin Luther King's dream, their own dream. Each of you has a dream. And it may be different than the others. But what unites you today is bigger than what divides you. You want to put your stamp on the history. We were the generation that stood up to our school administrators. We were the generation that stood up to our bully National Assembly deputies. We were the generation who spoke up through every means of communication that we have today. Ladies and gentlemen, and there must be much of a job. Maybe those are not happy. What I need to tell you, the message that I want to leave with you today, that your dreams are big. Your dreams are realistic. Your dreams go beyond your dreams. Your dreams are bigger than you. You need to dream big and dream at the national level. If one voice could change a nation in America, one voice can change a room in Tunis. If my voice can put a little thought, a little idea, a little question mark in your head, then your voice should do the same thing with your friends and circle of influence. All of your voices can change a university. All of your voices can change many universities. And from many universities we can change a city. And from many cities we can change many cities and a nation. You're young, you're exuberant, you have the energy, you have the optimism. Put it to work in the right place. Put it to work in the right place, because you have a tremendous responsibility. I would hate to see you become that generation, the last generation of the 2013, or class of 2015, or whatever year you got your graduation. Put your footprint on this, because this is the stage that you will not get again. Look around the room. Look around the room. In 5 years, you will be engaged or married. Will you see some of these people again? Probably not. Probably not. I hate to tell you, because friends we make in school, we hardly ever keep up with them. Everyone goes their direction. They get married, they get divorced, they move on and on and on and on. And life changes. This is a chance that you have. The interconnectedness. Let's take advantage of the technology that we have in our hands. Twice. And for those of you engineers, you'll know what I'm talking about. And this is happening again this time. 2 times in the past, there were industrial revolutions. The first and the second. And what made those revolutions successful was the combination of knowledge and communication. The first revolution is steam. Steam was around for a long time. Some of you have But steam turned the world around once the United States started building highways in the late 1800s. Transportation systems changed the world. The economy moved. The world adopted that same system. The second industrial revolution was also successful. Petrol, oil has been around for what, 40, 50 years? But it wasn't until another means of communication came about. The telephone, the exchange systems. Petrol was a commodity that was being traded. Countries were becoming wealthy because they could move their petrol, their oil from the Middle East to America and to Europe and to other parts of the world. Communication is necessary for any successful revolution. There is a third revolution taking place right now, and I need you to be aware of it. And this revolution, it has the internet. The internet was not meant for Facebook exclusively. The internet has been around since World War II, but was never put to use until somebody did the right thing at the right time. As we said earlier, your rituals that you create, if they're not well-timed, they're meaningless. Bill Gates and Steve Jobs came along. They revolutionized the internet as doing the right thing at the right time. The internet was discovered, the idea, the principles, at some basement run by the US military in 1948 in Cambridge, the basement that runs between Massachusetts Institute of Technology and Harvard University. It was where they used to test nuclear physics used to work. Anyone who's been to Boston knows there is about 1.5 mile tunnel that now you can go in and visit it. There's a movie made about it, I can't remember the name of the movie. My point here is that you have all the tools in your head that you need to make your dreams come true. And the other point is that your dreams should not be limited to what you set out day one, when you were 6 years old and went to school. My dream is still unfulfilled. My dream of getting rid of social injustice, the way I saw it when I was writing that document, is still unfulfilled. Only 2 weeks ago, I had come back from visiting the region of Sidi Bouzid in Kasserine, delivering school furniture to young children. I have still run into young boys 5 and 6 years old going to school barefoot in the mountains. I have run into mothers that had to decide who of the 5 kids was going to school because she could not afford all 5 of her kids going to school. I have run into a little boy. His school books were into that little sachet, on his back. It brought tears to my eyes. This is not the Tunisia I wanted to come back to. This is not the Tunisia that you should accept. This isn't. Getting is not survive the need is not enough. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to help the world? How is the world going to remember you? How's your family going to remember you? How's your neighborhood going to remember you? How are you a role model to those like you in a few years? Yes, I have graduated from probably the top university in the world. I am very proud of that. But if I don't do with it what I'm doing today, it is absolutely meaningless. It is, as a matter of fact, it's something that I don't even want to talk about. It was very difficult. I applied for 5 years at Harvard University, and 4 I was refused. I was turned away. I was not a very smart kid, but I had a good story to tell. And when I told my story, I was accepted. Because my story goes beyond getting a good job. My success is not defined by the house I live in, or the car I drive, or the shoes I wear, or the clothes I buy. Or if they're mud. Or if they're marked or not. Demarcated, whatever. Logos. Christian Dior and all that stuff. That's not success to me. Success to me is how do I take that knowledge that I've acquired over the years that other people have sacrificed so much for and turn that into something that makes me go to sleep at night with a smile on my face. Money's great. Don't take me wrong. I love money. But it's not an objective in itself. Just like a diploma is not an objective in itself. It is not the end of all means. It's a means to an end. Just like your education should be. It is a means to an end. Life is full of challenges. And change is inevitable. Our ability to change and evolve is something that you acquire by working together, by attending conferences like this, by asking questions. I ask you, I beg you. Generations depend on what you do and how you do it. Don't let them down. Shit, I hate to be in your position right now. It was easy my age. It was easy. We all knew where we were going. We had one president. We all knew he was going to be president until the day he died. We all knew we were Muslims. We all knew we were Arabs. We all studied the same school system, the same books. Today, you're from Gafsa or Gaslit or Sidi Bouzid, you feel like you're from another country when you come and visit Tunis. You don't speak, I still have a problem with it. I don't speak French like most of you do. I didn't study it all that long. I didn't care about it. I was a math and a physics guy. We hear each other speak and class and put each other in separate classes. Oh, he speaks French. Oh, can you Bulgaria? Oh, this is what's killing this nation. It is tearing us apart. You need to speak up. You need to speak up. Don't turn the television set or the newspaper or Facebook off. You need to make your voices heard. This is the dream. This is the dream that people will talk about. It will affect your lives and the lives of your children and the children of your children. That's responsibility. That's a lot of responsibility. Optimism. Optimism is what we need to do. I have painted you a picture right now by stressing the importance of your dreams, by stressing that you need to be active and make things happen and not be one of those who ask, gee, what just happened? Make things happen. You need to make something happen that counts, that's sustainable, that's positive, and has positive impact and implication on the lives of others. Otherwise, it is only you. And the world is not made out of you. It's made out of many of you working together. So please, let's knock all these barriers that exist between us. Let's not judge who we are, and what she is, and who he is, and where she's from. No, I don't like her. No, because that only makes it easier for our enemies to control us. There are people, mechanic people, Machiavellian people, devising plans to control us and tell us what to study, what to eat, what to drink, what kind of a job to get, what kind of a salary to get. To those people we say enough is enough. To those people we say we are here to count. By putting hand in hand. Black and white, man and woman, Mithajba, not Mithajba. All of us together. I would love nothing more than to see all students of every university, of every gender, male, female, homosexuals, I don't really care. You're Tunisian, that's what matters the most. Hand in hand, walking down the street, telling all these politicians, no, sir, you cannot do this anymore. We count. My education counts. I want to have a say in what kind of school I'm going to take. What kind of classes I'm going to take. You cannot dictate to me a program that was devised in 1975. Steve Jobs, you all know who he is. How did Apple computers become Apple computers? Steve Jobs was fired from his own company that he had created 2 years before. Apple, the Mac, before it became Apple, was famous for one thing, the calligraphy, the different types and styles of the characters. How did Steve Jobs get to that point? By dropping out of school. 6 months later, he dropped out of school. He saw no value. He didn't drop out of school and left school. He dropped out of the classes they told him he had to take. And he went and took calligraphy classes, art classes. He learned how to write in style. 12 years later, the Mac. And people loved the Mac. Why? Because of the calligraphy, which Windows stole later on. You know, when you go to the drop-down menu and it gives you all the different styles, that's Steve Jobs' calligraphy classes that he took because he wanted to. Not because a teacher told him what to do. We're far away from that. I understand you're probably saying, gee, I don't have any choice here. I have to take the classes they tell me. Yes, you do. But you also have a choice on how hard you work, on how hard you work out of class. Everything is available to you today. Everything is available to you today. I have been out of school for many, many years, but what I've learned after I left school is more than what I have learned in school. I am a student until as late as last night. There is nothing I put my head to that I know that I need to quickly reach my goal that I cannot learn on the internet. The internet to me is not just to connect with my friends, although I am often on Facebook. The internet for me is an educational way that did not exist when I was a student. So I am putting it to use. I am consulting right now for many political parties. A few years ago, I didn't know the difference between left and right. Ideologies. I didn't know. But I taught myself. And I speak now to politicians who have been doing politics for 30 and 40 years. I did not graduate in communications. I didn't. But I've consulted members of the U.S. Congress and Senate on how to communicate, on how to be on television, on how to give speeches. Because I continue to learn. And this is what I say to you. You're reaching your dreams if you cannot reach your dream because a particular class or a particular tool is not available to you at your school, that's no excuse anymore. No, sir. No, sir. Because it's available to you if you want. There are libraries. There are computers. What you have on your laptop is an incredible wealth of knowledge. An incredible wealth of knowledge. Put it to use. These are all little tools on how to reach our dreams. I am confident and hopeful. Because with hope, our dreams can be reached. And as I look at you, I see a bright future. Because I see you're not the type of people that are going to sit idly, doing nothing, waiting for something to happen. We've had enough of that. We've had a whole country, we've had a whole 60 years of a nation waiting for something to happen, and nothing's happened. The only thing that's happened is put us back. You say enough of that? You are the people who are now in charge of the future. And in your hands, I say, God bless. I say, I love you all. Leave that to you.